welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope you are having a fantastic day. Yes, we are going to talk about the Indiana Fever versus the Chicago Sky. I decided to just let it rip on this one. I'm not going to organize notes or prep too much because I think that will sort of ruin the experience because there is just so much to talk about. Oh, wow. Where to begin? Let me see. First, you know what I think I'm gonna say first. I've got something positive to say. Caitlin Clark is the best passer the WNBA has ever seen, period. And no, not in the league playing right now, period. There has never been a passer like her in the WNBA. There has never been a player like her in the WNBA. She is on a different level. She plays the game in a different way, and the league hates her for it. Period. That's that. But let's see. I don't know if I'll get the whole copyright nonsense like I did before on a game trying to show a few things, but let's see. We gotta show a couple of these, right? So look, let's start with this. That is both a turnover on Clark that should be a 14th assist, and that's the game because then they win by one. So there's no excuse whatsoever to miss that pass. You're a professional basketball player. You've done that. I can't even count how many times that has happened this season. But if we don't like that one, we can always look at Clark make the backside steal because she's a good defender. And then boom. Now people might say, oh, but that's a tough layup. No, actually, it isn't. Do you know why it became tough? I'll show you why, because we'll start it again from here because she didn't catch it cleanly. She bobbled it, and that's why she had to chuck it up like that. It should have been a basic wide open reverse layup. No excuses again. But hey, these things happen, right? I mean, it's not like it's going to happen a third time or anything in the same half. Are you absolutely kidding me with this nonsense? I think there needs to be an investigation from what I saw in this game. There needs to be an investigation as to whether the Fever, other than Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston, whether the Fever threw this game because the evidence says they did. Uh, One thing we can look on as a bright side because I think it might have gotten lost in the 4-game win streak while they beat up on teams that are bad, which is what they're going to be able to do. Christy Sides is still a horrific coach. She is absolutely god awful. She is the worst coach in basketball. And that includes the volunteer moms and dads who donate their time to allow the second graders to play. Absolute worst coach in basketball, period. Caitlin Clark did not get a touch out of that timeout with 1 minute 7 seconds to go when they were down two. There was nothing run for her all game, despite the fact that she came out hot and got 8 points on her own in the first quarter alone. It is absolutely terrible coaching. It's practically criminal how bad Christy Sides is as a coach. Have I made myself clear? She runs nothing on offense. She has no idea how to make adjustments. What were they up? 18? I think they were up 18, right? What did Christy Sides change? As Chicago went on that run, what did Christy Sides change? Anything? No. What does that offense look like if it's not Caitlin Clark throwing incredible passes into the post for Aliyah Boston or Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark working the two-player game? Because I'll tell you what, I'll throw another positive in there other than Caitlin Clark's passing. Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston are a phenomenal twosome. They are more fun to watch than anything I've seen in the WNBA outside of just Caitlin Clark. They are on the same page. They have great chemistry. They're both intelligent players. Aliyah Boston has gotten better and better at finishing at the rim. She knows how to roll off the screens to get passes from Caitlin Clark. She knows how to establish herself in the post to get passes from Caitlin Clark because you watch when that offense ends up being let's all stand around and someone else throw the ball into Aliyah Boston, what usually happens? Turnovers, or we run the shot clock down. I'll tell you what, the Fever are the best team in the league at running down the shot clock because they literally have no offensive scheme whatsoever other than make sure Caitlin Clark doesn't light it up. That's their offense. We could talk about the drop passes. I think you saw a lot of those. I showed you a few of them. That's what's been going on all game, every game. By the way, those are 3 turnovers credited to Caitlin Clark. Should have been 6 easy points, but we can't have that. So let's see if I have this up here too. I'm going to show the first two. Let's see. Here's one. Yeah, nice miss. That has been going on all season. Again, there's the ball game, right? We could add that to Mitchell's miss. And then this one now, unfortunately, this clip had Boston in there because you just heard me talk about her. She has been phenomenal. So I almost kind of like, when she does it, I kind of okay. I mean, early in the season it was an issue, but the way she's playing now and the way she's playing with Caitlin Clark while the rest of the team is out there trying to lose, it's a little tougher for me to get on Aliyah Boston for that because again, she has been phenomenal lately. And more importantly, she's been phenomenal with Caitlin Clark, while the rest of the team seems like they're out there to negate what Boston and Clark do and to lose the game. I do not understand why Wheeler plays at all. I do not understand why Wallace plays at all, other than their Christy Sides is mommy ball, like she's volunteering for the second grade class, and those are her kids because she did come over from the Atlanta Dream with them. Mitchell has to be benched and then traded because yes, I praise some things she's done. Absolutely, she's a streaky shooter, and when she's hot, that can be helpful. But nothing else that she does, or I should say, when she goes on a hot streak, it does not negate how awful she is in everything else. The drop passes, the missed layups, the not passing the ball to Caitlin, the absolute horrific defense. For those who didn't notice, that was Mitchell that got torched by Kennedy Carter in that first half. Carter had what, like 15 points in the first half? I don't think she missed a shot. Mitchell can't defend. She can't pass. She can't make layups. She can't catch. Why? What is she out there for? Fix the damn offense by actually having an offense. Make Caitlin Clark the focus of it. What did she do? Take 11 or 12 shots again tonight? Absolutely abysmal. I'll tell you what, Celeste Taylor again still not playing. You have the worst defense in the WNBA. You've got plenty of offense. You don't need Mitchell out there. You can have Celeste Taylor out there. You don't need Wheeler out there. You can have Celeste Taylor out there. She's going to run the court. She's going to get out in transition and because she's going to catch the ball. She's going to make layups and she's going to defend better than anybody else on the team. And you've got her sitting on the bench. I guarantee you that the rest of the WNBA, they want Erica Wheeler to run around and either force up a shot or Mitchell to run around and force up a shot or Alec Wheeler to ignore Caitlin Clark and then throw the ball to Alyssa Smith for a wide open corner three that's going to be a brick. This coach, Christy Sides, is a complete embarrassment. The Indiana Fever, for allowing her to still be the coach, are a complete embarrassment. I don't even know where to go from there. I know I'm missing a lot of stuff about the game because I'm so worked up, but I'm trying to take from this. By the way, Caitlin Clark, that was a career high in assists. That was I think she tied a rookie record, maybe broke it, but I think she tied. I think it was an Indiana Fever record. Of course, as you saw, she probably should have had 16 or 17 assists, but we decided in the second half to make sure she wasn't part of the offense at all so Chicago could climb back from an 18-point deficit and the coach could make zero changes at all. If the Indiana Fever doesn't want to be a complete embarrassment, they need to fire Christy Sides before the day is out. Make an assistant coach the interim coach. You know what? Make Caitlin Clark the interim coach. How about that? anything good that's happening on the offense is coming from Caitlin Clark anyway. It's not coming from Christy Sides. Anything run that is positive on the offensive end, it's coming from Caitlin Clark. It is not coming from Christy Sides. This is the absolute worst coach in basketball, period. She is terrible. Wheeler is terrible. Wallace is terrible. I know I said that already. I'm repeating myself because I'm so worked up with how absolutely atrocious this is. The Indiana Fever, with their ridiculous Twitter posts on, Caitlin Clark's threes and all that, it's embarrassing. And I'll tell you what, tell me if you caught this, because this irked me too. At the end of the game, Wallace is fouling on purpose, right? So because they need to send Chicago to the line, and she slips and falls down because the player got so open she had to chase and lunge for her to make sure she fouled her before the game ended. So it's no big deal, right? She commits the foul and she falls down, and the entire team sprints over to her to help her up, and the freaking announcer actually has to weigh in and say something and talk about how much she loves that. These people are so passively aggressively jealous of Caitlin Clark. It is disgusting. So let me get this straight. Teammates are going to sprint over to someone who just slipped while fouling another player. It's not hurt at all. Nothing bad happened. And the announcer's going to point it out. But Caitlin Clark getting criminally assaulted while the game is stopped. No players go over to her. The announcers don't say a damn word. Christy Sides after the game in the press conference says, "Oh, well, we didn't see it because, we're looking the other way because I'm just the coach. Why should I pay attention to where the ball is or where our team is inbounding?" Absolutely awful display. And by the way, now that I think about it, that should tell you the state of the WNBA and how good teams like Chicago are with everything I just said about Indiana, yet they still should have won the game. Chicago plays like most of the WNBA. That's ugly. It's ugly basketball. And Chicago's a great example of what's wrong with the WNBA in the style of the way they play. And for those of you that are paying attention, every single player on that team has to run their freaking mouth off after everything. It is embarrassing who is raising these people. Come on. Have a little sportsmanship. Do your job. You don't need to yap every time you make a basket or grab a rebound. It is ridiculous. And Melissa Smith got fed up with it too, right? I think she actually started jawing back at Angel Reese, which was nice. But Melissa Smith was not good today. She can't play defense. The entire team can't play defense. Their defense is absolutely horrible. I think it's horrible individually for the most part. And they also have no scheme. Their rotations are terrible. I'm not even sure what it is they're trying to do defensively because it's just that bad. I'm sure I missed out a lot of stuff with this game, but I've probably rattled on and yelled to the point where none of you have gotten this far into the video anyway. The one other thing I will add is that Caitlin Clark's got to stop being so unselfish. At this point, I would rather see her force shots than give the ball up the way she is to players that are going to do nothing with it and just run out the shot clock and then either have a violation or force nonsense. Speaking of, there was one time where there was great defense by Aliyah Boston to force a shot clock violation. But man, that was terrible. By the way, the refs were terrible too. Does anybody have any idea what there was a delay of game violation for? And they weren't even clear on what it is they were calling because they made it seem like there was something that like a technical was being shot for because there was no one under the basket. So the entire both teams thought there was some sort of violation that had an extra shot happening. But it was really just, I believe, the first shot of two free throws. Of course, that all started with a terrible call because that was not a foul on Samuelson in any way, shape, or form. It was just she knocked the ball away. I think I might actually even have that. I think that's right. I think that's this right here. Let's see if we can watch a couple right here. This. There's no foul there, and that's the referee is literally right there watching it. That's an embarrassment for him as well. He should be fired. The other official was absolutely terrible. They had no idea what they were doing. Um, yeah, wow. I just probably gone on too long. I'm sure there's some stuff I missed from the game that you can hit me up in the comments. Am I being too tough? I don't think I'm being too tough. I think that was a great example of what I think that was a great example of all the stuff we've kind of forgotten and haven't been talking about, me included, because we wanted the team to be turning things around. They were winning some games, some players were playing well. But I think it goes back to things we talked about earlier that I've said that you've mentioned in the comments that what they're doing is they have enough talent to do it and beat bad teams. They're not going to beat good teams. And Chicago's not even that good of a team. And hey, the Fever, despite all this, the Fever were up what, 18? I know they were up 15 a couple of different times. Um, they got torched on the boards, right? I mean that Angel Reese can't get 2 inches off the ground, but she's going to grab all those rebounds. That's ridiculous. But yeah. So Indiana Fever, here's what you got to do. You got to fire Christy Sides. You've got to run the offense through Caitlin Clark. You've got to. I know you can't just trade them all right now, but you gotta stop playing Wheeler completely. You have to put Mitchell on the bench, and if she's going to be a problem playing reduced minutes off the bench, then you just sit her completely, and you bring in Celeste Taylor, and you start giving her a lot of minutes. Because guess what? The way things are going, you're not a very good team. So why does it matter? Get Celeste Taylor in there, get her minutes. Wheeler and Mitchell have to go. Wallace, I don't know why Wallace is starting. I really have no idea why she's starting. Absolutely terrible. All right, I'm going to leave it there because I could go on for a while. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. And I will talk to you later.